Yep, we're doing it this morning on the Coast FM Gardening Gang with Pete Little and Cheryl and Darcy. We are live at the card table down here at the Leagues Club Park, because today is the official opening of the brand new rejigged Leagues Club Park. It's a beautiful community asset. They've spent millions of dollars on it, and it's been opened, I think unofficially last night. They had kiddies playing.
Yeah, they did.
Today is the big day. We've got a smoking ceremony to mark the opening at 10 o'clock, and we've got live bands, we've got markets down here. But more importantly for the Gardening Gang, we're going to tell you about the kind of flora. Because there's no fauna.
That's right.
It's only flora that we can talk about.
Yeah, well, that's
today.
it. We're just going to talk about gardening. We're going to have a look at the things that they've planted here, why they've planted them, and you know what? Of course, if it's here, you can grow it elsewhere on the coast as well. So we'll get some tips about what they've selected. Beautiful things.
Now, a couple of names that have come to mind this morning from the list they gave us.
Okay.
There's a plant called pigface.
You know,
how about that? Pigface.
Well,
I never heard of it before.
Do you know what, Pete? That's not a surprise to me or all of our coasty gardeners, because it's very popular in gardens. It's a really lovely one.
Well,
Beautiful
we'll find out what a pigface is. Also a rough-barked apple.
Oh, yes.
Oh, take that to the teacher.
That's it.
And also birthday candles. That's also a plant as well.
Yeah, and these
are you familiar with all these things?
I am. They're all Australian native plants that are here. Some of the plants were already here and they've protected them, preserved them, but the things they've put in, all native, and a lot of endemic plants that have been used by the Darkinjung people as well.
I'm going to bore you for just 30 seconds.
Bore me?
Because I've been on the coast now for many years, but going back another 50 years, I'm talking about probably, the early 1900s, the area we are sitting on now was actually water.
Was it?
This has been all filled. Georgiana Terrace behind us, which is there in the Leagues Club, was the edge of the river. Or the edge of the water.
So this has been, it's man-made, because I'm only a recent coastie.
It's all man-made.
Okay,
and for that reason, they were able to put this new thing in here, which is kind of a tidal wading pool for kiddies, based on the water's natural movement in the Brisbane water. It's a beautiful piece of technology. So well worth bringing the kiddies down to put their tootsies in the water. We might even throw you in, Cheryl, because you've only got runners on there.
No, I've got runners on today because of the grass.
You've got nice runners too.
I do, yeah.
Well, we might send Doreen in. What do you think, Doreen? You in for that? Okay.
Yeah, Doreen, get your shoes off.
Get your bikini on, baby. We know it's overcast and grey, but we're going to have a great morning here at Coast FM. Continue with the classic hits, and here's The Carpenters. 963, home of the classic hits with Pete Little and Cheryl and Darcy, sitting comfortably here in the park, the Leagues Club Park.
Yes.
And it's a big day today. If you've just joined us on the radio, we're broadcasting here because it's the kind of community day, which is the official opening after... we were down here to do a little bit of a walk around about a week and a half ago, and you'd think there was months and months of work to be done.
It was unbelievable.
And the fellows that we spoke to, the people who are doing the planting and the like, and the final, all this prettying up, said, if we don't get too much rain, we'll certainly make the... and fortunately, we'll make the deadline. So fortunately, we are here today. A little bit of rain may come today, but we've got the whole thing opened. People walking by, people having some fun. And good morning to you. Lovely to see you here. And we've just been also talking about the tidal terrace thing.
We have been talking about the tidal terrace.
Going back in time, this was all just swampy tidal flats. I think they called them mud flats, didn't they? Yes.
They would have done that. Might be a bit like the swamp. No.
so some smarty years ago said, look, what we should do is fill that in, whether it was a wise thing or not, doesn't really matter.
Well,
but in terms of the way it's provided a nice frontage to the water, which is not controlled or not subject to, these low water lines, because that's why it's so attractive around the Gosford CBD, because we don't have these long flats of, smelly...
No, we don't. We don't here in Gosford. Not at low tide, we don't. It's quite... Well, it flushes through quite well here. But this tidal terrace is an amazing thing that they've put in here. It completely works on the tide, as it sounds like, and so as the tide rises and falls, the terrace covers up sandstone islands that are actually shaped like animals of the area.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful, and it's inspired by the by the local artists of the area, the Indigenous artists of the area, and you can splash around and have a good time there. I'm just looking at pictures of it now. I want to run over there, and it's just like
rather than adults like you and I.
I don't know. I'd like to go and I'd like to walk around the dolphin
Let's
there.
get that on photo. Let's get that on Facebook.
I'd love to. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I think the fact that they've actually been able to tap into the natural way that the earth works with the tides and not sort of bring in, equipment and all this to pump it all through and all that sort of thing is amazing. It's all nature inspired, and there's a playground there too. And instead of, the old-fashioned metal slippery dip like you and I would have had, Pete, or the what do they used to call that thing? You used to go round and round and spin off. My brothers used to like to do that and make me fly off into the air.
Hurdy-gurdy thing.
The hurdy-gurdy. Instead of that, we've got these amazing structures. They look like, the movie Avatar? That's what it looks like over there.
Yeah, it's all very
looks
modern.
but it looks like Avatar, and it's all in this forest of endemic native plants and trees. And there is a slippery slide there, and there are climbing structures, but it's very much in tune with nature and with the local area. It's not like an eyesore or anything like that. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm just standing here. I can't even, I'm lost for words.
You are indeed, which is rare.
Which is it's very, very rare. And then we've also got because I've noticed the Hunter and Central Coast Development Corporation, they're the mob that started this, have overseen this project and made it work, and they've worked very closely, of course, with the Darkinjung Local Aboriginal Land Council to create the final design, and it completely reflects the local Indigenous culture and history, and I believe it's also opened on time, which is great.
It is indeed, and it didn't cost the ratepayers of the Central Coast a cracker because it was all provided by Gladys and her
It
mob.
was, and Gladys was here last night. She actually did the official ribbon cutting. This is open to the people today, but I've seen a lot of that on social media. There's a lot of kind of we've got all these problems. No, didn't cost a cent. Everybody, come and enjoy your tax dollars from the state government in action. That's exactly right. Come and enjoy it. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it didn't cost you anything.
And this announcement was not paid for by anybody.
No, it wasn't. It's a community
Coast
announcement.
FM.
Yes.
Very proud of our city.
We are.
Okay, the Gardening Gang today being sponsored by Alan Graham's Caravans and RVs and Doormaster Security Doors and Windows. Found the station with the classic hits, and this is Pete Little, along with my very close and dear friend in gardening, Sherilyn Darcy.
That's
we are
right.
here on location at the brand new Leagues Club Park. The big community day today gets underway about 10, so we snuck in early.
We did.
We sort of just got in before the crowds will be enveloping this joint during our gardening program today, At Home with the Gardening Gang. Well,
That's right.
We're not at home. We're not home.
No, but we know who's at home right now. Our gardeners are at home, and they want to know what they can do in their garden this week. So it's time to get your hands dirty, everybody. So this week...
this is the bell for the school.
You know what? You missed the cue there. Right, back you go. Gosh,
Put that back in the box,
excited about that. Okay.
Okay, I've got the bell ready for the next segment here.
Yeah, at the end of this segment, right? Okay, you'll learn one day. Don't worry. You keep going. Okay, so this week, my gardening friends, my gangsters, you can plant Asian greens, dwarf beans. Actually, you could probably plant any bean, but dwarf beans particularly. Beetroot, broccoli, cauliflower, celery, chicory, cress, most lettuces, but I would say cos lettuce would go well because some of those, some of the finer leaf ones, they're a little bit susceptible at the moment to this humidity that's going on at the moment. Mustard greens are good. Parsnips, climbing peas. Get out there also and get your seeds ready for your sweet peas, because we all know we plant those at around St. Patrick's Day. That's the official day in Australia to plant your sweet peas. Coming up, get those seeds. They actually ran out last year.
Is that right?
I've had people ringing me up saying I can't find them because people are right onto this now. So okay, potato tubers can go in, and you can also put in spring onions, silver beets, spinach, swedes, and if you're looking to get some colour soon, some cornflowers, delphiniums, dianthus, that's carnations for you, Pete, everlasting daisies, forget-me-nots, foxgloves, honesty, I love honesty, in all shapes and forms, thank you. Status, chives, coriander, garlic, marjoram, oregano, and parsley. That's what you could be doing to get your hands dirty this week, my gangsters.
Well, you are such a show-off. Do I hit the bell yet? No, we're too early for the bell.
No, well, after this song, yes, it's going to be time for the gardening school. So
before we get off the gardening school, a very important event after we finish here today at 10. We're going to upstakes and go to the community garden at East Gosford.
We are.
I know quite a few people want to come along and get some words of wisdom from you.
Yeah, small space
garden. But they won't get any from me.
No, well, they'll get some laughs from you probably. So we're talking small space gardening. That's what we're doing. We're having about a 15, 20-minute conversation. You can ask me some questions and just meet at home with the gardening. The gangsters, Pete and I, at the East Gosford Community Garden. It's going to be a lovely morning tea. I believe they've got a Lamington for you or something. Okay, after this song, it's time for gardening school, so you can ring in or email us as well, and or jump onto our social media. It's At Home with the Gardening Gang, or email gardeningscentralcoast@gmail.com.
Fantastic.
You can ring the bell now, Pete.
Okay, we'll come back soon with the with the reason we're going to hit the bell. Meantime,
gardening
she
questions.
Works hard for the money. Here it is. This job so much I do it for the money. No, for no money. We do this as a volunteer exercise every Saturday morning here at Coast FM. The Gardening Gang with Pete Little and Sherilyn Darcy, being sponsored by Alan Graham's Caravans and RVs and Doormaster Security Doors and Windows at Berkeley Vale. Good morning.
School's in.
Students.
That's it. Take your seats, my gardening students.
Time for the gardening school. Yes, the School of the Air is on the radio this morning with tips on how to make your gardening more beautiful.
Well, we have an email here today. We're getting a lot of emails during the week. So can I say to our listeners, thank you so much for particularly your letters and emails and messages of support. People are liking us, Pete, which must be doing something.
There's that opportunity. People can also ring up if they would like to stay on the line for a couple of moments while we
So we're just getting,
talk to them.
Yeah, they're liking what we're doing. So that's really and lovely. And thank you, because, yes, we agree with you. It's lovely to have a Central Coast-centric, as someone said, gardening show. But let's answer some mail. Yeah, come on, let's get on with it. So Gary from Foresters Beach writes, bugs are taking over my garden, but I don't want to use chemicals. Any tips, Sherilyn? Well, Gary, next week we're going to do organic pest control methods, and that's going to be fascinating for Pete. He can't wait to get into that. So we'll be talking about all the things you can do to keep your garden looking lovely and pest-free using organic methods. But here, right now, is my tried and tested all-rounder recipe for you. Grab 6 unpeeled cloves of garlic, 3 whole hot chilies, a half a cup of chopped tomato leaves, 500 mils of water, and blend them all together in a blender. Okay, so it's all munched up. And then throw in half a teaspoon of liquid soap, strain it into a spray bottle, and then you can spray it on your plants. But make sure you do a test first, just like you test things on your clothes when you do things.
Anything. All that garlic and all those chilies.
It won't kill your plants, but do test it first on an inconspicuous spot.
Might even do spiders.
Well, you don't spray it like willy-nilly everywhere. I mean, you go, oh, look at my, lovely hydrangeas. They're having a bit of a problem here. So you just, spray on the leaves. That's what you do. Right. So that's what you can use. I'm going to put this up on our Facebook page, At Home with the Gardening Gang. You can have a look at it there. And it'll also be on our website, coastfmgardeninggang.com.
Now, when you do these particular exercises in keeping your plants healthy, using these natural products, should we then throw away our Mortines and all that sort of stuff that's made by the big packaging manufacturers?
Yes.
Just discard it.
Well, don't just discard it. Wait for something like we had last week. What was it? The carry-on chemical throw-out.
Chemicals.
Yeah, that was happening last week.
Yes.
And we have that, I think it's every 6 months, but check with the council.
I think there's one today, in fact.
There's one today.
Foresters Beach? No, hang on. Baddo Bay.
Baddo Bay. Okay, there you go.
Baddo Bay Long Jetty at the
All right. I don't have chemicals, so, I'm a bit of a goody two-shoes. Okay. But if you do have some left over, don't feel bad. Go and take them to Baddo Bay to they can dispose of them nicely. So that's what you can do. And in future, just have a look at our Central Coast website and contact them about it. You can find out.
Give us a call here at Coast FM for the Gardening School. We can answer your questions without fear or favour. 4322 0072. Now back to the classic hits at Coast FM on this Saturday morning with the Gardening Gang. with a flow right here at Coast FM 963, the station with the classic hits. It is the Gardening Gang for this, the final Saturday in the month of February.
That's right.
So it's the last summer February.
Yeah, we're rolling into autumn.
6 months, mate.
It
so
is.
There you go.
Yeah.
What that means, I don't care, but what is also important, that we are the first radio station to do an outside broadcast in this new relived park.
We are first.
We are first. We are first off the... The others can come behind, but we have the record.
We do have the
first
record.
radio station to bring a live radio broadcast from this park's in its brand new form.
That's right.
It's new form that the state government spent now $12 million.
That's right.
Make it all happen. Beautiful. So come on down over the weekend sometime. Today, yes, come on down. Lots of activities here at the Leagues Club Park, because you can bring the grandchildren down. They can waddle in the pool. You can check out all those wonderful plants like pigface that I understand has been put in the grasses somewhere here.
Yes, it has. It's been put in different places.
It's just a good exercise to come out and enjoy. But if it rains today, well, you got tomorrow.
But there's also undercover a little bit. There's picnic tables with umbrellas over them right in front of us. Yeah, and free barbecues here. Yeah, there is a little bit of shelter.
Bring your
if you
chops
get
down, chops and onions. Yeah, it's good.
Bring your cauliflower steaks.
And you can pluck a few plants too.
No, you can't, Pete. You're not allowed to do that.
Okay.
Behave. No, behave.
Grapevine time, Sherilyn.
On the Grapevine, what's happening around the Central Coast this weekend? Well, other than the Gardening Gang being live broadcasting from the Leagues Club Park until 10 a.m, so it's not too late to come down and say hello to us either. You'll find us, we're under the Canary Island palms. So come and say hello, because we love that. Small space gardening with the Gardening Gang, that's us, at East Gosford Community Park. That's from 11 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. We'll both be there having a visit and having a look and a chat with all the gardeners there. But I'll also be giving a short little talk on small space gardening for courtyards and balconies, and even how you can plant on your verges.
It's free
quick.
too. You're not going to charge
Oh, it's free. No, it's completely free.
I can actually hold a tin and shake the tin. Donate.
Donate for your donuts. That's what it'll be. Just a secret. No, he's not allowed to eat any more donuts. Do not bring him any more donuts.
Totally free.
Okay, the other thing that's happening today at the Giving Farm, and that is Grow Garlic at Home workshop. Growing garlic is becoming very, very popular because homegrown garlic has a lot more nutritious elements to it, and they're going to show you how to successfully grow, boost your garlic's nutrition, harvest and use garlic in this extensive workshop today. I believe it starts at about 11. Have a look at their website, thegivingfarm.com.au, and it's at Gillaby. If you miss out now, they've got so many other workshops there that are really worth going to. Fantastic, the Giving Farm, lovely people. Meet the team at Gust, our friends, Grow Urban Shade Trees. We love this gang. They are gangster best friends. Tomorrow, Sunday the 28th, between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. at the Sydney 2000 Park, Sydney Road, Umina. They're actually celebrating their, you ready for this, Pete? 500th tree planted on the verges of the Central Coast. Well done. I am so proud of you guys. Yay.
Deserves a bell.
Yeah. Find out how you can grow your own shade trees on your verge, what to select, and have a chat with this amazing team, the Gust team, about the best trees for your area on your verge and how to plant them. They're really worth going and having a chat with.
That's marvellous news. And the other thing, too, I just want to poke in here for a moment before we thank our sponsors. Margaret at Erina. I spoke to Margaret over the weekend, during the week, in fact, and she loves the little tips you give on all those things you don't kind of normally know if you're a gardener.
Oh, the botanical
history.
history.
Tips and things like that. How to this and how to that.
Oh, that's lovely.
So,
thank
Margaret,
you.
thank you for your feedback.
That's lovely feedback. Thank you.
Coast FM, the station with classic hits. Pete Little and Sherilyn Darcy here for part 2 of Saturday mornings at home with the Gardening Gang, and today we are at the brand new Central Coast League Club field here in Gosford on the waterfront. It's opening today under its new guise. It looks absolutely beautiful.
Amazing.
And one of the smart people behind it is Gabi Duncan from the local Darkinjung Council. And Gabi's been, I've known Gabi for years. You've been an artist, Gabi. You've been doing welcoming to country ceremonies
Lands
across
Walk.
the coast. Five Lands
Yeah,
Walk.
we've got
The man's a legend, you know.
Yes,
I know
yes.
you're new to the coast. He's
Oh,
a
a few
legend.
years, and I've been wanting to meet you. So this is like a bit of a fangirl. I'm so pleased to meet you today.
you
It's so
too.
lovely. Yeah, it's welcome to us.
So,
Thank
Gabi, we know from publicity that you were the one that made those designs on the
Yes.
on the poles, the Indigenous poles here
Yes.
in the park. What other parts of the operation were you involved in?
Well,
with the design or the selection?
Well, the whole
of
sort of concept of the totem poles,
Yep.
which is based on an original ceremony that was practiced not far from here, in a little place called Wollombi in Laguna,
Oh yeah.
just out in the valley
yeah,
there.
over in the back of the hills.
Yeah,
there.
and it's Yango National Park, where the sacred mountain Mount Yango sits in there, and it's based on an actual Darkinjung traditional ceremony, and that's where the gathering of the 7 nation groups gathered before Europeans came here. And that mountain is considered one of the most sacred sites on the New South Wales, on the Australian east coast, because it's the place where we say the great Bayami creator stepped down from the Milky Way, and so you can call it the cradle of life itself, which is located, in the Lower Hunter Valley. And
Well,
so
that's,
those poles represent the Sydney groups, the Lake Macquarie Central Coast groups, Port Stephens, Lower Hunter Valley, and then the bigger inland tribes as Wiradjuri and Gomeroi to the northwest of New South Wales, and Wiradjuri to the southwest.
And they've all come together on the waterfront at Gosford.
Isn't that
Yes.
wonderful?
And they're all different colours and designs, I noticed too.
Yeah,
They've,
the actual designs, you'll see that there's a half moon shaped crosshatch which is in turquoise blue that represents the ocean. So it represents on I think 4 or 5 poles that I have there, 4 poles. It has that ocean symbol on the top.
Right.
So it's a bit of just universal symbols that show the coastal people.
Yeah.
And then you have a cross-hatching symbolism that shows the inland people. And that's what those designs represent. The handprints on the poles, that takes on a meaning of representing the community and the people as such. So they've taken, prints there of school children from Chertsey Primary School and put them on the pole.
Yeah, marvellous.
And I actually sprayed all those hands on the pole. And then the bands as such represent the story of the rainbow serpent as such, which is a big universal story too at the same time. The poles traditionally would have been carved and also half painted as such in the original ceremony, and each one of those nation groups would carve or paint something that was very
they'd make their own
sacred,
contribution.
Sacred from their place, their land. So
would they bring the poles from their lands to the meeting place, or would it be made?
They'd be made there,
right there.
at the
Now,
ceremony.
did you scale these poles to paint them? Or
No.
you're up there in a bucket or something? Were they on the ground? When they
Yeah,
were
on
done?
the ground.
Okay. I was going to say a long time in the bloody harness,
Yeah.
mate, if you had to go up there and do that.
Yeah, and I think
Is the paint going to last a long time?
I
you
think
reckon?
it will last
Need
a while,
touching
but
up occasionally?
yeah, probably need touching up.
You might be too old by the
Years,
time.
but to climb up there.
To climb up there, mate. Oh, they get you a bucket.
Yeah.
They get you one of those electric buckets. You
Oh,
can
you
go
go
up
there
there,
with
the-
take your brush up there on a nice,
You're right.
nice calm day, mate.
Talks about that. It's based on a creation story. That's what the poles
Yes, you were
represent.
saying, yeah.
So
Right.
we considered that, and in our religious belief, that the great Bayami and his wife Yi and their daughters arrived on the earth at the sacred mountain of Mount Yango.
Okay.
And then the story is that they stepped across the land and left their footprints within the land itself, and different interactions became places that are important and special as natural features of the land itself.
Right.
Could be water holes, billabongs, rivers.
Right.
Yep.
That's what different features that became the things that give us life today. So some of these features or natural features of the land is special to women, and then special to men, and then special to everyone. So I think our story, our belief in that connection as such, it relates to everyone. everyone on it, because we're all children of Mother Earth, and so.
Well, you still have, mate. You still have areas where the girls go and the boys go, and never the twain shall meet.
Well, I think if you look at how the Barbies are run these days,
the
men go over there and the women go there.
That's true.
Hasn't changed in millions of hundreds of thousands of years.
I'm also so the plantings that were here. I keep hearing that Darkinjung people were consulted. So were you part of that?
Yes,
process?
Originally it's started around 2 years ago.
Okay.
That the first idea with Hunter Central Coast Development Corporation.
Yes.
That's it.
And then you've got the garden people too.
Right.
I just remember their name.
Well, the contractors.
Okay. The contractors.
Yeah, the contractors and Turf Design, which done amazing job here in regards to the whole design of it.
So the plants here, I've had a little look. So are they important to, and what way are they important to Darkinjung people?
We've got a number of plants that we put forward to be put in the garden, because it shows all around the Gosford region here, just up in the ridge tops and the different ecology environments, as such as wetlands and beaches and dunes and rainforests, all different species that we've sort of put in the garden here to show what's naturally around the Gosford region and area.
Yeah. So and very much native plants.
Yeah, and things like, naturally they've got selected like blackbuck trees, forest gums, tea trees, which naturally were medicines, and also they were bush foods too, or as such. The wattles, and there's naturally many varieties of wattle that our people use. They've got the Gosford wattle here, which...
What sort of uses do the Darkinjung people have for wattles?
Wattle's really good for any sort of skin ailments. Any sort of skin ailments. You boil the leaf up as such and rub that on your skin. Okay. And also there's naturally wattle has seed, which majority of wattles are edible. Right. And which our people would collect and make bread from the wattle seed. So it was a bit of a natural diet here on the coast with the wattle seed. There's a sweet wattle, which is one of the favourite
yes, I've had
plants.
that. Yeah,
and
it's lovely.
At the same time, you can eat it green, and what happens is it tastes like a snow pea, and it's a bit starchy, but you get that out of it. Okay. And eat it green. It's just like a snow pea, and then when you leave it naturally on the bush, it'll open up, it'll die and open up and expose the seeds.
I know that bit, how it looks.
So the women used to come along with their coolamans and put them in the coolamans and then grind them up into flour and make bread.
That's so lovely. Yeah. I love the fact that all these plants are here as well for we're a gardening show, and our gardeners can actually see for themselves what is endemic, what's native to this area, and then grow in their own gardens. I think it's very important, and because
wattle seed coffee, wattle seed ice cream.
Oh,
these are all the recipes that people do today. Wattle seed coffee is amazing. It's amazing.
So today, I know that you're doing a tour today. Is that right? What can you just let our listeners know about that who are coming down today?
With the Aboriginal interpretations here in the park and in the garden, or park garden. Yeah. And we're going to be doing a little tour around it to actually talk about and show people, the different plants that are in here and the uses and also the story about the poles themselves and also the features in the water pool.
Yeah, the animals?
Yeah.
The kids are loving it down there today.
We've actually brought original engravings. These are actually all original engravings all around the region. Wow. So what you see there in the tidal pool is actually based on exactly how they're carved in the land. So it's
you didn't bring the original piece, but you sort of recreated the design. Was that the idea behind
with,
it?
With sandstone rocks.
That's what it's all about.
They've like whales, stingrays and fish and
dolphins. We've got to invite people to come down today.
It's at 11:30. I think, Gabi, is your tour at 11:30 today?
Yes,
you need to book in somewhere here.
I think so.
Yeah, the information tent. The information tent. And there's a wonderful discovery trail for the kids as well. Yes. To have a look around the park, and if they find everything, what do they end up with?
Yes.
A little...
A plant, I think.
Yeah, a native plant.
And a
They
kiss
still
from
have-
Gabi.
And a kiss. A lesson from Gabi. So from the information booth, you can book in to have
Yes.
to have a tour with Gabi, and for the kids, the Discovery
it's called
Trail.
Kiss an Artist.
Kiss an
Yes.
artist.
Yeah. Hey, Gabi, good talking to you, mate. Have a great
It's been
day.
Yep,
fantastic.
you too, Pete.
Congratulations on those
Oh,
poles.
thank
They
you.
Yeah,
look
they're
magnificent.
I think,
fantastic. Thank you.
you know,
Meaningful.
congratulate the, turf design, hunter development. and,
Yep, all on time.
You know,
too.
and I think the people of the Central Coast will really, really love this.
Yep.
Yeah, they will.
space, and it's given something back to the people.
Yes.
Yes.
And they can bring
Absolutely.
their steaks down, some onions, and
Yes,
those
yeah,
on the
there's
free
barbies
barbies as
here.
well. That's a wonderful idea.
But it's got these beautiful grassed areas, and
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Gorgeous.
It's just the real.
So we've had the legendary Gabi Duncan
We have,
here this
we
morning
have. Thank
on our
you,
radio
Gabi.
show.
We have.
The
Thank
first
you.
radio show from this new park.
Yes.
mate.
Right.
The
We're
very
hanging
first.
on that one.
You can't take that away from us.
They can't.
and
They
you wouldn't
can't.
believe what I listen to each day.
Thank you, Gabi.
Oh, yes. Well done, Gabi.
Back to the classic
Thanks,
hits
Gabi.
this morning. We're going to high here. All the stuff there from John Lennon, part of our classic hits right here from Coast FM 963. Saturday morning with Pete Little and Sherilyn Darcy and a cast of, lots of wonderful people coming our way today. A little later on, we'll be talking to Vicky from Narara Valley Nursery. But meantime, it's Doreen who does our research on the gardening gang, particularly in regard to the markets that are held around the coast. She scurries around
She
and
does.
checks out where the bargains are. Good morning, Doreen. Nice to see
morning.
you here
Good
on
morning.
location.
Yes.
Okay, where are the markets around the coast today, my dear?
Okay, well, there's certainly markets here. I've been and had a little browse here. There's some lovely markets here today. So come along and see those. Now, also today, the Long Jetty markets are on today between 9 and 2 on the foreshore. There will be live music all day featuring local musicians. Now, the stalls also include fashion, photography, gifts, local produce, plants and international street foods. The entrance markets are on today between 9 and 2 at the Memorial Park. There will be crafts, freshly baked breads, local produce, toys, gourmet foods and fashion. Now, Ettalong indoor markets will be held today and tomorrow between 9 and 4 at the Galleria. The markets are undercover and there's loads to see, like fashion, jewellery, arts and crafts, amongst many other things.
Well, there you go. That's our markets for today, guys.
That's today,
Now, I
yep.
think we'll just flip over the page here. Whoa!
Yes.
Quite a few things coming
Oh,
up
there's a
tomorrow,
lot.
Doreen,
We
aren't there?
certainly do. So tomorrow's Sunday. Yes, all the markets are starting to come back online, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Avoca Beachside markets are being held tomorrow between 9 and 2 at Hazlitt Park foreshore. Come along and see the food and produce stalls, jewellery, sustainable and handmade goods. Don't forget there will also be lots of treats to nibble on while you browse. Gosford City Farmers Market is being held tomorrow at the Gosford Showground between 7 and 12. Check out the plants, fresh produce, deli items, soda bread and free-range eggs, to mention just a few. There's also hot food, tea and coffee. Now, Peninsula Lions car boot sale is on again tomorrow between 7 and 1 in Dunban Road near the golf club. There will be plants, second-hand goods, bric-a-brac coffee.
Bric-a-brackers.
Bric-a-brac coffee.
Bric-a-brackers.
Bric-a-brac coffee and muffins.
These poor guys had to close for a while because of the
They
COVID
did.
and they're
They
getting
did.
back into action.
And they
now,
have
aren't
great plants. There's someone there that has really good house plants. So
Yes,
get there.
and there was a lovely man I spoke to, and he said they're struggling a little bit, so get out and support
Yeah.
them. Now, Toukley markets are on again tomorrow in the Coles car park between 7 and 1. The stalls include scented candles, jewellery, dog treats, clothing, plants and seasonal fruits and veggies. And Woiwoi Produce Swap is being held tomorrow between 10 and 11 in the community garden at 87 Moana Street, Woiwoi. It's a simple way of sharing your excess food with fellow growers and also the chance to pick up produce you need.
If you're after a good swap, that's the place to
Oh,
go.
gosh.
What do you mean, oh, gosh?
Swapping your produce.
I knew he'd say something
You
like
knew
that.
he'd say
I
something.
knew it, you
I
know.
know
Yeah.
the lovely people from the
Swap,
Woiwoi
swap.
Community
Yes.
Garden, and they're not going to appreciate
love
that.
swapping.
They love swapping their fruit and veggies. Pete,
Yeah.
get that door out for
Okay,
you.
Doreen, thank you so much. I know you go to a lot of work there.
Thanks, Doreen.
Thanks for your help
You're
there.
welcome.
A great day to come down to the Leaside Park. We've been broadcasting here since 8 o'clock.
We have.
And, I've just got the sleep out of my eyes now. Had a couple of coffees and feeling fabulous for a nice day coming up.
It's
the crowds
lovely.
aren't flourish flourishing yet. There's plenty of space. There's parking space
Yeah,
free.
there's parking space.
A little later on, you can bring your own meat and try the barbecue system, which is
all free.
brand new. Free barbecue.
Free barbecues. Oh, you're really on that, aren't you?
No,
the
you
free
don't get the
barbecue?
food for free.
No, but you get
Pay for
the
that.
power for free, yeah.
That's right. Now, the lovely
Lovely.
Vicky's here. Holy Foliage
Holly.
is on radio this morning. Not on the phone, but
She's
she's come
here.
down from the Narara Valley Nursery
Yes.
to give us what's hot and what's not. But before we do that, Vicky, what do you think of this little park? Cute?
It's really cute, yes. So come on down. There's lots of stalls, lots of food, and lots of interesting things to look at.
Holy Foliage.
Holy foliage.
So what's hot in the garden today? Vicky, what's your thought on that?
So in the nursery today, grass trees are looking very hot. Very iconic Aussie little tree there. It's synonymous with Paul Hogan, Kylie Minogue. Get
Yes.
one in your garden. I'm sure they do too.
Yes, and there's some around here.
A little interesting fact about the grass trees is in the first 2 years that you own one, a handy little tip is to do 1 cup of sugar to a bucket of water, pour it over the soil that they're in, and it feeds a mycorrhizal fungus that keeps the grass trees happy.
And
That's it.
keeps
It needs
them
a
sweet.
Keeps them sweet.
A
and
sweet
happy.
tree.
I love that.
A grass tree, that's an idea.
That's it. That's great.
And they're not an expensive plant, I wouldn't imagine.
They are.
Oh, they
Listen to the
are.
gardeners go.
Okay.
But, but it's like a
let's
life.
be
It's like a
honest.
life choice.
It is
It's
the
like
most
it's an
expensive
investment.
tree in the whole nursery. But worth it.
We do have some in the nursery as little as $65 with a decent little.
yeah.
And
trunk on them.
if you're a pensioner, you get 15% off, don't you?
12.5%.
Oh, 12.5. Sorry. I was
giving it
nudging
away
that.
today.
But if we
you know,
do the
getting
little
towards pension
rain
age, I'm
zone-
nudging up to 15.
Yeah,
but
well,
I don't
if
know.
it rains, 15.
Wait for a rainy
That's
day.
it. If it
Wait for a rainy
rains,
day.
15.
It's raining tomorrow. Get down there,
right.
gang.
Okay, so that's grass trees. That's hot.
That's hot. What's
That's
not?
hot.
What's
What
not?
is not?
So lately we've had a lot of people coming in asking where our tomato plants are, and I just have to say Elvis has left the building. That ship has sailed. No more tomato plants. It's a bit too late. So unless you've got a hothouse or a glass house, don't worry about tomato plants. And also, while I'm on the topic, I don't know if many people know, but it's best to water your tomato plants early in the morning as opposed to in the evening because they're susceptible to fungal diseases. So water them in the morning, let the sunshine do its beautiful thing, and you'll have happy little tomato plants.
So I'm hearing that
Yes.
tomatoes are going to get dearer now in the supermarkets because
Yeah.
it's not the season
You've got it.
for growth now.
You've got it. And so what you should
Okay.
do is grow heaps of them and then bottle them yourself. And then you've got them. That's when we have all
Fair
our
enough.
spag bowl and tomato soups in the winter.
Oh,
Exactly.
Okay, okay.
Idea.
There you go. Well, that's great.
Well, that's lovely news, Holy Foliage.
Holy Aussie natives.
Oh, she's got it.
And
Love
Vicky,
it.
thank you for coming down. You have to go back to
Vicky.
work
Thank
now.
you for having
But
me.
We'll give you a few more hours off.
Yeah,
I
you
think
can
the
hang
boss
here
will
and
say.
have a look at the...
Nice job, Vicky.
Stuff, yeah.
Nice job. You know? We'll catch you next week on the radio.
See you, and thanks for having me.
Thank you, Vicky.
Thanks,
Vicky
Vicky.
from Narara Valley Nursery, one of our long-term sponsors here at Coast FM. Now we're going to thank some other sponsors
We do.
around this morning, don't we? Thank you, Sarah. Oh. Good morning. Thank you for joining Coast FM this morning. It is the Gardening Gang out and about today. We're at the new parkland at Gosford, the Leeds Club Park, which is in a whole new look. Yes, what was just going to be a kind of a practice field is now full of all this wonder of nature. And also some wonderful community facilities like barbecues and tidal park and tidal water section as well,
The
trees
terrace,
and terraces, and it's a great place to bring the grandkids down particularly. Now, Nicola's joining us this morning. Nicola Robinson from the Hunter and Central Coast Development Corporation. Hello, Nicola. Welcome to Coast FM, the very first radio station to do a broadcast from this new park setup.
are. Welcome,
How about
Nicola.
that? Put that on a park.
Yes.
Good to see you, Nicola. So what part did you play in the development of all this?
So we're the Hunter's Central Coast Development Corporation.
Yes,
we were the
indeed.
ones that developed the park. So we engaged the landscape designers, which were Turf Design, who did a fantastic job on designing this new play space. And we managed the whole project from conception right through to delivery. February, and the exciting opening yesterday from the Premier and the Minister for Planning.
Now, how long in the planning has it been?
The park was first announced by the previous Minister for Planning in May 2018, so it's been a 2-year process. So, it's been very exciting now, and I think it's well worth the wait.
It seemed to be a long process there. Then it all kind of got started when they put this kind of tidal section in, which got a lot of publicity about how unique that was, that the tide affects the section of the park which is kind of enclosed in its own way. But
so one of the key briefs for the landscape architects was to make that connection with the Brisbane water, which is quite difficult when you've got the Central Coast Highway between the park and the water. So Turf Design came up with this amazing idea to literally bring the tide into the park. So there's a pipe that goes under the Central Coast Highway there. When the tide rises in the Brisbane water, the water length flows into the park. It's a little bit more complicated than that.
I don't think we'll see any fish in there, will we?
No, you shouldn't see any fish.
Unless people bring them in.
Well, that's right. Yes, no fishing and probably no oyster growth either. Hopefully.
Yes, that's the other thing too, isn't it?
That's right. But there's a control pit in there that stops the water getting too deep, so it's a safe level for children to paddle around in.
There are kiddies in there this morning I was looking at.
There are, it's great
and
to see.
little toddlers in there, like just walking age kind of thing. Looks totally safe for them, but it might be low tide at the moment. I'm not quite sure
I think
how high it will get into.
That's right. So it just mimics the tide. So if the tide's higher than the safe level, the pump cuts off and the water can't go any further.
Is that a unique thing that you're aware of in kind of public
We believe it
areas?
is. Yeah, we believe certainly in Australia. The technology is not unique. They use it a lot for sort of mangrove rehabilitation and things like that. But in terms of a parkland, it is it's pretty unique. It's pretty special.
I couldn't find any indication of anybody else actually doing it. I was trying to use different words and all this sort of thing for it, but we might be.
This is the one-off.
This is it.
I think it is.
There it is.
Put us on the map.
So does your organisation now retain involvement in this particular project, or have you now finished your work? And
we've pretty much finished our work here. We're
looked after by the council now.
That's right.
Right. Well, they haven't got a lot of money, the council, you're probably aware. They're in a bit of a strife with the bucks, but it's not going to be a hard thing to maintain.
That's right.
I think it looks like, it's got easy care, shall we say.
Exactly, and that was one of the briefs as well with the tidal terrace, that it's, it's all natural, there's no need for electronic pumping or chlorination or lifeguard duties or anything like that. So it's for the council's point of view, it should be very easy to maintain.
And open 24/7.
That's right, yes.
Now, can people bring their caravans and park on here?
Unfortunately not, no.
Gee, that would have been popular.
It would have been.
But it would have been a mess, I think.
I think so.
It would have been very hard to manage that one.
That's right.
Yes. So it was good talking to you. And well done to you and your team in making this all happen because, as you say, it's a 2-year plus 2-year project.
It is.
And it's turned out to be just magnificent.
It is.
Fantastic.
Meaningful as well, which is very fantastic.
And it's got nice flowers, and we're all about flowers here on the Gardening Gang, aren't we?
We're all about plants. I'm impressed at how you've managed to work so well with the Darkinjung people and being able for them to tell their story here and to have their plantings here like this. It's fantastic for people to learn about what grows in the area and what they can grow at their place as well. I'm all about gardens and gardening.
Yes.
We're a gardening show.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Thank you.
Nicola's been our guest, Nicola Robinson from the Hunter and Central Coast District Regional Development. It's a long word, but we know what it's all about. Thank you, Nicola, for coming by.
And thank you for your work.
Gang, Pete Little and Sherilyn Darcy wrapping up pretty soon. But in the meantime, we're going to talk to Lachlan McDonald from McDonald Partners in the real estate scene. Good morning. Can you hear us, mate? Are you on the phone?
Good morning, Pete. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Good morning, Lachlan.
Now, I've got a question for you, Lachlan. You're the real estate genius. You talk about values here on the coast. We are standing here doing our radio show in a beautiful open parkland. Now, the question I've got for you in terms of the value of real estate, Now, would a park be of better value to your real estate if you're in proximity to a park or a shopping centre? What would create a better value for your property?
Right,
or appeal?
It's a very good question. It depends on the age group a little bit. So what we generally tend to find is that if you're a younger family, proximity to the park is really good, really very desirable. But that younger family doesn't mind getting in the car to go to the shop. But if you're a little bit further along your property journey and maybe you're at the retirement stage or a downsize, being
like
close
Sherilyn.
to the shops is gold. It's everything.
Right, so parks aren't that important for the older people.
Not for the older people, yeah. So it depends on who's on the buyer, really.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
well,
it.
this
yeah.
new park here in Gosford, I think, has added beautiful to the amenity.
Yeah.
But there's like no one living around here yet.
Yeah, there's a couple
Well,
of
they
plans
can't even camp on it.
No, they're not allowed to. But would this increase the value of places? Because I did notice on the plans there seems to be some places going up around here.
Yes, well, what would your thoughts be, Lachlan? This park here in Gosford, I think, really enhanced the amenity of the CBD, and although there is no new unit development in close proximity, I'm sure people would see it as being a positive thing for the area.
You're quite right, and I think what they're trying to do there is not so much create something for the residents, but something for the workers. And you know, if you look at the city and Hyde Park, for example, how many people go out into the park, enjoy their lunch, do a bit of exercise, even just get some sun throughout the day. So it shows that they're trying to make it more attractive to workers to want to work in Gosford CBD, and that will be good for property prices.
God, this could be our new Hyde Park, you know that?
It could be.
This could be.
This is nicer than Hyde Park. This is much
well, there's no Archibald
nicer.
Fountain here. We've got the tidal. We've got the tidal play area instead.
No, we've got the poles. It's even better. It's even better.
We've got
Gavi's poles. There you go.
We've got Gabi's poles here as well.
Yeah.
So I know you haven't seen the park, mate, but it is rather gorgeous, you know.
Oh, I've seen the park. The poles are magnificent.
Yes, well, they are one of the highlights now of driving into the CBD of Gosford, up over the bridge coming in.
Yep.
And there are the poles, which we found out today, by the way, represent the different tribes of the region.
Yeah.
The Aboriginal tribes going back all those thousands of years. So
absolutely,
got a historical significance for sure. And as Gavi said, one day he may have to climb the pole and repaint them, but it'll be a long time yet.
Yes, he did.
Hey, Lachlan, thank you for your time this morning, mate. We'll be back to normal circumstances next week, back in the old studio. Thanks for your time, champ.
Thanks, Lockie. Have a
My
great
pleasure,
week.
guys. Enjoy the park.
Weekend.
Bye-bye.
There's Lachlan McDonald there from McDonald Partners on Coast FM 963. We've got the weekend beat coming up after 10 today. Sherilyn and I are taking off to East Gosford after we leave the outside broadcast location this morning. Doreen's going to look after the tidy up, which is terrific.
That's great.
And thank you, Doreen, for your help this morning. You've done a marvellous job.
It's been good.
And her husband's joined her to help her pull down the tent.
That's right.
So, David, thank you, mate. It's been lovely to see you as well, mate.
Thanks for visiting us. And taking photos that we're going to put up on our Facebook page
Look
this
forward to that.
afternoon.
And please, if you had a chance over the weekend, bring the grandkids down, have a look at this magnificent new park here at the CBD. End of, the Leagues Club end of the CBD, we might call it.
Yeah.
Right next to Central Coast Highway. Been a lovely time.
It's been wonderful.
Sherilyn, thank you for your support. Sarah back in the studio. And also, too, I had to mention our very good friend sitting here in the studio with us. Who is it? It's Tommy the panel operator.
He's
done a great
He's
job.
done an amazing job
Yes,
today.
he has.
He
Tommy
always keeps
sitting
us
there
on our toes.
and doesn't really interfere.
He never does.
And just makes cups of tea for Sarah. He's very good.
He's very, very good.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Catch
you.
you next week.
See you next week. Garden Gang.